a lot of questions come up about, what words should I use? How do I describe this disability or that disability? I want to try to give you just a few hints here. The first point I want to make is that language evolves. So language shifts from one thing to another. You won't be able to please people with your language in every circumstance. And so you want to go back to a matter of your heart, where what is really important is language that's respectful. Try to use language that respects the individual as best you can. And sometimes that means asking the question, what would be a good term to use here? Could you help me? I don't know how to describe what disability you have. How would you say it, or how would you like me to say it? It's a good way just to ask somebody. So choose language that's respectful. Another part of that is I want to encourage you to use language to train your own mind. So one of the things that happens when you use language is if you're going to use certain language, it takes work on your part to avoid words that you're used to using or that you've historically used. If you're a professional and you've used a term over and over again and now the world is changing, it's hard to adjust. I want to encourage you to do the hard work to make that adjustment because it trains your own mind. It puts your priorities straight, it makes you think. And so you train your own attitudes. So one of the things that I really want to encourage everyone that's listening to me right now is to just absolutely eliminate diagnostic terms as any sort of pejorative in any conversation you have. Get rid of diagnostics as pejoratives. There are much better words that are much more descriptive, and so I want to encourage you to do that. The other thing I want to ask you to do is to avoid category language. So again, this is sometimes a shortcut we use. We say the disabled. Or we say the blind people, or we say the people with cerebral palsy, or whatever. We use this categorizing language. I want to encourage you to move away from categoric language. Avoid putting the word "the" in front of any people group and defining it that way. And so the counter to that is what's been very popular for quite some time now, for tens of years, is what's called person-first language. So you've probably heard this before, but if you haven't, hear it now. Person-first language is simply you put the person before any sort of other category or disability or description. And then I want to encourage you to go beyond person-first language. And the way you go beyond that is to use gifts and interests as attributes. In the person-first language. So rather than being person-first and then disability second, what about being person-first and then gifts and interests second? We are